methodical. Like, he puts pressure on guys without throwing too many punches, and then starts to figure holes out, and the way he can explode and move in with one shot, my God.
Yeah, he very explosive. He's very explosive, man.
Shakur sees that. He's anticipating something to come. He knows he's going to explode in. So what does Shakur do? Teo takes a big step in, Shakur takes a big step back. You know, again, always understanding, because he has great eyes, you know, great eyes, understands boxing very well and movements.
Wasn't for this music, I'd probably be dead. Instead of on top, it's red. Sitting in the middle.
Joe Rogan expresses amazement at Shakur Stevenson's impressively muscular build leading up to his bout against Teofimo Lopez. He commends Stevenson's distinctive defensive approach and combat abilities, describing them as exceptional. Rogan observes that Shakur's outstanding physical condition enhances both his speed and strength during fights, establishing him as an elite competitor.
Since Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
His defense was incredible.
Yeah. Defense, and he stayed, and that guy was putting the guy from Golden Boy, I can't remember his name, who he fought, but was just a good fighter and was really pressuring him. And Shakur stayed in the pocket.
Yeah,
he stayed in the pocket.
He also said he's not
calling him a runner before.
Anymore.
He's not a runner. Yeah,
but he said after that fight, I'm not going to fight that way anymore. He said I took too many shots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he wanted to like put on a show and show everybody he's not just a runner. He could stand in the pocket. Right. Then he's like, why am I doing this? I'll box the shit out of these motherfuckers.
Yeah. I mean, he's a silver medalist, that guy.
Yeah. Oh, he's elite. He's elite. Yeah. And just one of the best, like, as far as...
Shakur Stevenson's training camp demonstrates exceptional discipline and organization. Every session is carefully crafted to enhance his defense, speed, and technique. His team emphasizes precision, conditioning, and strategic readiness, preparing him for any challenge. This dedication is evident in his outstanding physical condition and mental toughness, establishing him as an elite professional fighter. Tim Bradley examines the contrasting styles between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Lopez relies on explosive, unpredictable power with Roy Jones Jr.-like speed, while Stevenson excels at controlling distance and dictating pace. Bradley emphasizes footwork as the deciding factor. Stevenson can neutralize Lopez's aggression by disrupting his timing. The fight showcases elite defense versus explosive offense, pitting calculated precision against dynamic power.
The feet is what gets you in position to be able to land those shots. You know, footwork is extremely important. When I look at both these guys, and I look at Shakur's footwork, I look at Teo's footwork, and what I noticed about Teo's footwork in particular is that in order to be able to throw the amount of power that he has, you know, I've noticed with Teo, there's always a subtle pause before he actually explodes. And Teo's a guy that likes to explode into contact, like to explode into his opponents, man, to land his offense. You know, fast, you know, twitchy type muscles, you know, fibers. You know, he's extremely fast. You know, some may say that, you know, his twitchiness kind of reminds him of like Roy Jones' type of, you know, movements, how quick he's able to close that distance on his opposition. However, he's in there with a guy that is a master at controlling distance. That's like he's a master at literally, you know, getting in his position, right, in the position where he wants to be and taking away your positioning. And with doing so, he takes away your feet, you know, and that's why I think feet are going to be extremely important in this. You know, if you can keep your opponent off balance, for instance, let me just give you an example. It's like Teo explodes. There's a subtlety before he explodes with his offense. And as soon as Shakur sees that, he's anticipating something to come. He knows he's going to explode in. So what does Shakur do? Teo takes a big step in, Shakur takes a big step back. You know, again, always understanding, because he has
Ryan Garcia firmly backs Shakur Stevenson to win his upcoming bout. He highlights Stevenson's quickness, defensive excellence, and boxing IQ as key factors that could prove decisive against any rival. Garcia emphasizes that Stevenson's adaptability and composure under pressure make him a formidable challenge, even for Teofimo Lopez. He believes Stevenson's blend of speed, accuracy, and tactical awareness positions him as the favorite. Garcia's prediction underscores his confidence that if Stevenson sticks to his strategy, he'll secure the victory.
We need some real boxing guys in this thing.
Yo, who you got, Shakur or Teo?
I got Shakur Stevenson beat him.
You got Shakur? You don't think Teo's gonna win?
Nah, bro. Nah.
Damn, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I got
crazy.
Teo too, bro.
You guys got Teo? How much you guys want to bet, bro?
I got Teo.
How much you guys want to bet? Anytime.
Bet, bro. I don't got money compared to you.
Nah, I'll bet. Hey, I'll bet in your tax bracket, bro.
100. Let's do 100.
I'll bet 100, bro. Let's do it.
100.
Shakur Stevenson faces criticism over his resume and strategy heading into the Teofimo Lopez fight. Critics argue his record lacks elite-level victories compared to fighters like Gervonta Davis, with past opponents like Zepeda not considered top-tier threats. Concerns center on whether Stevenson's defensive, distance-focused style will prove effective against Lopez's speed and power, or if he'll rely too heavily on evasion, making it a tactical endurance test rather than an action-packed bout. While his defensive skills are undeniable, this fight will determine if his measured approach can handle Lopez's explosive offense. The outcome is unpredictable, but the matchup promises high drama.
Boosting up Shakur Stevenson, his resume is not really that deep if we're really being fair. And I would challenge y'all to compare it to Gervonta Tank Davis's resume and then really look at who they were, look at Tank's frame, look at Shakur's frame, and tell me what looks to be more special. But here you got Shakur being hoisted up and praised nonstop, but then a lot of the same analysts, when they talk about Tank, they're like, oh man, Tank's disappointing and Tank needs to fight someone and his resume's not that good. Who on Shakur's resume is just like this world beater? People always talk about, oh, Tank don't have Hall of Famers and don't have good fighters. Ryan Garcia is a dangerous fight. He has one of the best left hooks in the game. He was undefeated. Undefeated fighters could be stubborn, and he's definitely bigger than Tank. Even Shakur, he would probably be bigger than Shakur, but it would at least be closer. So for me, it is more impressive seeing the smaller guy like Tank produce that type of punch and power and being there with the giants and guys like Frank Martin. To me, I would rather have seen Shakur, Frank Martin, like they were supposed to fight, but it fell apart over money, than the fight with Zepeda. Especially, like I said, Zepeda coming off 2 performances where he arguably lost both, if not one of them, and was exposed and dropped in the fight. You know, Teofimo, I think that's a good name for Shakur Stevenson, but the fight hasn't happened yet. So we have to see what it is. But all this talk about Zepeda being, who was that good? Robinson Conceição really should have lost to O'Shaquie Foster. They rematched and then he did lose. He's cool. And he lost to Valdez before Shakur fought him. And Shakur missed weight.
Shakur Stevenson's motivation comes from constantly challenging himself. He seeks tough opponents who test him physically and mentally, using each fight to refine his skills and study different styles. His competitive nature drives intense training and strategic preparation. For Stevenson, success isn't just about winning, it's about overcoming challenges and continuous growth as a fighter. This commitment to elite competition fuels his evolution, making him progressively more skilled, intelligent, and versatile in boxing.
I think I'm gonna capitalize off those mistakes.
But bro, what is it about you that has you, looking at a fighter that you know is the truth and then saying, I want to fight him? It seems like it should be normal if you're a fighter, right? But that stuff is dying off in the game right now. And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro. So it's like, I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Teo his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he's like a baby Roy. Like, he's like doing things with his hands down, flashy. And I thought it was cool, so it kind of made me want to get in a ring with him and see if he could do them things against my style.
Your last fight was against William Zepeda. in July, and you fought a totally different way. It wasn't the easiest way or the best way to fight, but I think it was good for you and your development because it not only sent a message to the rest of the division, one up, your division at that time, and then the one above you, but it sent a message to the fans. But I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles-wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's gonna have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy that's trying to like wear me down so much.
Right.
So now I gotta play chess. I gotta do what I do best, play chess.
Shakur Stevenson's discipline and accountability set him apart, with meticulous preparation shaping every aspect of his performance. However, Teofimo Lopez's exceptional speed presents a serious challenge that can disrupt even elite defensive schemes. Stevenson must stay vigilant. Lopez's quickness can expose unforeseen openings despite careful planning. Success requires blending discipline with real-time adaptability, respecting Lopez's pace while executing his own game plan with precision. The fight demands both respect for Lopez's speed and confident, controlled action, avoiding complacency while maintaining calculated execution under pressure.
Will rise to the occasion and be prepared for that fight. So I feel like Shakur has to keep that fight in the middle of the ring, use his counter ability. But if Teo's speed is a problem, I think Shakur is going to run into a lot of problems. But if Shakur is the faster fighter with the good reflexes to counter, he'll be fine, I think. But, Teo says a lot of crazy things that, a lot of us don't agree with. But at the end of the day, the dude can fight. His last performance, he showed him that his levels to this, right? Lopez is on a whole different, I'll say, category when it comes to boxing that Shakur's at. I think this is a great fight. I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction. If these two fight, it's gonna be kind of like a Floyd versus Zab Judah-ish, or I'm gonna say Zab Judah. I know Zab Judah is a different fighter than Lopez, but I think what's gonna happen is gonna become a chess match. Who can counter who? Lopez, I think, will get hit early and start respecting Shakur's power. I think Shakur will keep everything to the middle of the ring and be able to adjust with his movements, his counter ability, and his defense. Like, he's able to make those adjustments that are very similar to Floyd. So I'm gonna go with Shakur on this one, but you cannot sleep on Lopez because he comes to fight. The fight that he shocked me was against Lomachenko. He came ready for war, and I think Shakur, he's starting to get fights that are kind of setting him up for these mega fights, and he'll be prepared for that. I don't see Shakur beating Tank. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Tank, speed, and ability to get inside, I think, is gonna give Shakur a lot of problems. But if Shakur could keep things in the middle of the ring, he should be fine. It's all gonna be up to what Shakur, how he wants to fight it. I wouldn't have him going on ropes again, and I don't blame him for moving more in his next few fights, because that last fight, he didn't move too much and gave us, we just wanted to see him fight, right? And we know he.
The Lopez-Stevenson fight will push Lopez to his limits. Analyst Henry notes that Lopez excels under elite-level pressure, which brings out his best. Facing Stevenson's speed, precision, and ring IQ will require Lopez to elevate his entire game and adapt quickly. Henry stresses that a fighter's ceiling depends on their opposition's quality. This bout will test Lopez's strengths, expose weaknesses, and reveal his strategic adaptability. Mental toughness and instant decision-making will be as critical as physical skills. The matchup serves as a crucial measure of Lopez's growth as a boxer, pushing him to levels only world-class competition can demand, a defining moment in his professional career.
Lopez needs opponents like Shakur Stevenson because they are elite fighters. He needs that to bring out the very best in him. I just can't see how it's possible that whilst Teofimo, we've seen a ceiling with him in terms of he's been beaten by certain opponents, we know that he can lose in the ring. But I don't know if that's a genuine ceiling, because I think that his ceiling is actually one of the most changeable in boxing based on who's in front of him. And so actually, I think there's a very, very good chance we're going to see the best possible version of Teofimo Lopez in the ring against Shakur Stevenson. But we should talk about Shakur Stevenson before we get into the nuts and bolts of the fight, what it might look like, and why it is so risky for both men. Now, Shakur Stevenson is currently undefeated. He's 24-0 with 11 KOs. He turned pro back in 2017. He's the same age as Teofimo Lopez at 28 years old, both men in their athletic primes. He's 5'8". I mean, these are on paper heights, so potentially a little bit shorter. He could even be a bit taller than Teofimo Lopez. I really need to see them next to each other to make that assessment. No lifts in the shoes, all that stuff. But around the same size is the most important thing. The difference, though, with Shakur Stevenson is he's actually a 3-weight division world champion, and he started a division lower than Teofimo Lopez, meaning naturally it would appear that he's slightly the smaller man. Although that doesn't necessarily mean they're now not the same size. He could easily have filled out to be roughly the same size as Teofimo Lopez is on the night in the ring. Now, for me, I'm going to jump back to 2021 to first start talking about Shakur Stevenson, when he managed to get a win over Jamel Herring. Again, he'd had significant wins before this fight, but it was the first one where I really tuned into his career. Notable wins had already come against Joet Gonzalez, Jeremiah Nakathila, but no one that was really a household name. Maybe Joet Gonzalez. No giant names. Jamel Herring was the first one where I was like, I know who Jamel Herring is. He beat Carl Frampton. He beat Lamont Roach. This is a very, very decent operator. And what can I say? I mean, Shakur Stevenson just absolutely dominated him and TKO'd him in the 10th round of their fight. But this was a really, really landmark standout performance from Shakur Stevenson. The talent was there for all to see.
Bruce Carrington identifies a critical vulnerability in Lopez's game. He struggles against mobile fighters who consistently change angles. Stevenson's exceptional footwork and positional versatility could capitalize on this flaw, compelling Lopez to make constant real-time adjustments. Carrington stresses that victory won't hinge solely on power or intensity. Lopez must master the ability to read and counter swift, unpredictable movement. Without proper adaptation, he risks exposure to counterattacks and tactical traps. The assessment positions this bout as a crucial examination of Lopez's all-around ability, suggesting that Stevenson's fluid, dynamic approach may control the fight's rhythm and ultimately determine its winner.
So like, Teo is gonna bring the fight. He's very athletic. You know, he has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? You know, we've seen, you know, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, you know, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, you know, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, you know, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog, and both guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. Like I don't see, just because southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like, Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably something.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.